the year.
Yeah.
I'm okay
That
with
gives,
that.
yeah, I'd book that. Fantasy booking here.
I do want to do that.
Because they have so many cool storylines going on right now, like this the MJF labor of MJF, whatever Jericho thing. That's really cool.
That was insane, by the way. So I'm in the crowd. I mean, obviously I'm in the crowd, right? So my brother, who knows, like, he remembers who The Rock and Stone Cold and Mankind are. Those are his three favorite wrestlers. He'll tell anybody, any given day, those are my three favorites. I'm like, okay, it stopped in the 90s for him. He's like, don't care. So, but when I said, hey, I got tickets, he's like, well, I want to do that. That sounds great. That sounds like a lot of fun. It's like, yeah, man. So we're in the crowd. My son, Little Chef, loves MJF. I don't know why. He loves the MJF. Bucks. Well, okay. Well, let me put it this way. He's also we've got almost all of the Unrivaled action figures too. They just announced Wave 7 too. And I was like, damn it. There's more money there. But anyway, he's got his MJF toy, right? So all his wrestlers are at my place. So he's playing with them in the ring last weekend, and 2 weekends ago, and he is having MJF beat everybody. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, what's up? So MJF, everybody's booing him and like chanting at him and all kinds of stuff. And I'm chanting back, you suck, right? Everybody's like, you suck, you suck. And I get a hand over my mouth by an 8-year-old. He goes, you can't say that. I love him. I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then when they start, he goes, I've got somebody for you next week. And then they start going into deal. He robbed a bank. I'm like, it's not MVP. He robbed a boat. And I was like, and he's with WWE right now. I was like,
yeah.
And then my first thing was like, who else robbed a boat? And they're like, he almost killed a guy in the ring, this and that. And I'm like, no, New Jack died.
Yeah, New Jack's dead.
And then I was like, well, it's not going to. My next thought in my mind was, well, it's not Nick Gage. It's fucking Nick Gage.
Yeah, but I didn't know Nick Gage.
Really?
Yeah, because I'd never watched any much of indie stuff. I only started watching indies like 4 or 5 years ago. Really? And I didn't hear much about Nick Gage at all. But like, he seemed like a star. He seemed like a different character. That's the one thing that AEW has, is like every person, like there's so many people on the roster right now, but every person has their own identity and they feel different.
Yes.
That's just not with, you don't get that with WWE.
No, you're a cookie cutter something, or you're cannon fodder to a baby face or a heel.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool because I was like, oh, he just looks like a badass. Like he's a killer. He's gonna like fuck shit up.
So do you know who Nick Gage is?
No, I all I know is like he's a hardcore guy.
He's the king of the death matches. So this dude, no joke, he was in Ring of Honor with his brother. His brother actually passed away. He killed himself. So Nick Gage, I mean, he went to prison for robbing that bank, by the way. So, he got out, went back to wrestling and everything like that. But he's huge over in CZW because of this. I mean, he does death matches and stuff. He's the one that actually almost killed David Arquette too.
I've heard of that.
Almost killed Arquette. Yeah. And then he was having a match. I forgot who it was against, but he had a match in CZW. Was it CZW or Gathering of the Juggalos? One of the two. Anyway, but they had these light tubes up against the ropes, right?
Yeah.
And he got threw him to the outside. One of them actually, it broke, but then it stabbed him in his armpit and cut out a bunch of major arteries. Ooh. So he's bleeding out while he's trying to wrestle. And they're like, no, we're done. Like, take him to the back. And it's an outdoor event, right? So they're trying to take him to the tent. He goes, tape me up and let me go back. And they're like, no, you can't fucking do that shit. Like, you're going to die. They had to care flight him out of there so he would live. This man is a fucking beast. So they've also done a Dark Side of the Ring episode. Oh, he is a badass. He is legit a badass. And he's also, another reason why I didn't think it was Nick Gage is because he's feuding with Matt Cardona right now on the Indies. How weird is that shit? The former Zack
Ryder.
Yeah. How weird is that? You know it.
I don't know what where he went. He showed up for like a couple episodes on AEW and then he just disappeared.
He's over at Impact. He signed with Impact, and actually, Chelsea Green is his fiance is there now too.
All right, that's good.
So it makes sense. He and Brian Myers, former Kurt Hawkins, they're both over there. They're actually doing a feud right now themselves. They're feuding each other.
I saw that. I saw their match. Was it Slammiversary?
Yeah, I watched it. It was fine. It was a match.
Okay.
But they introduced Chelsea, so it's kind of like, all right, cool. So they both have jobs. They're both getting paid. That's good. That's how I look at it. And then also, Brian, he's working with his best friend, and Cardona's working with his best friend and his wife, or soon-to-be wife. I think he's fine. He's probably making a lot more money too, more than likely. But then again, he's also getting. I don't know if he's getting podcast money. I just don't know.
They have a Brian Myers and Cardona. I think they run and Breeze, Tyler Breeze.
Well, Breeze has his own thing.
Yeah, but don't they run like a wrestling school?
Creator Pro. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they run a wrestling school. 3 of those guys, or
yes.
Was it?
Actually, so a lot of guys on AEW, like a lot of guys from Dark Order, are from there, and Chris Statlander is from there too. Trying to think. So like John Silver, who actually made an appearance. Wait, was he on Dynamite?
I don't think so. Well, they showed up during when there was when Hangman showed up. There was a bunch of Dark Order people.
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure John Silver was there, and he had bandages over his shoulder because he separated his shoulder during his last match, and he's been out of action they said he's going to be out of action for a while, but he did the running. So everybody was chanting his name during the backstage segment with Brian Cage and Taz and everybody. I guess they might have muted the crowd or something like that because I don't actually remember.
Yeah, us. Yeah, there was no crowd.
It was a Big John chant, and he was like trying to get the crowd pumped up. He's throwing his hands.
What was
up
the chant? Just John Silver or just Silver?
Just John. Just John. That was it. And he was just like, yeah, he was eating it up, and everybody else was like, all right, cool. Like, damn, we know who.
Who got the loudest pop of the night? Or
loudest?
Well, hold on. That's a two-part question. First is who one person got the loudest pop? Could it be an entrance or a pin, or doesn't matter what?
Okay, let me ask you this then. Would it be for Dark, or I didn't say for Elevation. I didn't say for Big Show. We chunked up the dues for that one. So we only stayed for Dark and Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
So are you talking about between all of that?
Between all of that, throughout the night.
Entire night.
Yeah.
Biggest pop? It may have been Britt Baker.
Yeah.
To be honest. It's between Britt Baker and Chavo. No. You know what? I'm gonna take that back. Nick Gage it's between Nick Gage and Chavo.
Damn.
Because Chavo, everybody, I guess, was kind of like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, cool. But when it was Nick Gage, I was even chanting MDK. I was like, oh, shit, because I didn't think he would ever show up. And it was not in my role. Like, he is not AEW material,
Right. He's
to be able to wrestle.
CZW guy.
He is, he's a deathmatch guy. And that's all he does. He doesn't do matches.
I've seen some CZW stuff, man. That's it. Like, you watch a couple episodes and you need to take a break.
Yeah. I was trying to tell my brother.
Gruesome.
Well, that's when we were talking about the Texas Death Match for the main event. And I looked at him, I said, this is going to be on TNT, so it's probably not going to be as bad as the stuff they did in Japan. But I said, I'm going to warn you. It might get a little out there, especially if you're not used to this kind of stuff. And I told Landon, look, nobody's actually getting hurt. If I need to, I'm going to cover your eyes for anything that is whatever.
Yeah.
Probably should have done it on a couple things, but I was just like, nope, he can't see. It's fine. Everybody's standing. So, but the fork.
Oh, the forks. The forks were, man, those were real shots. I didn't think they would actually do that. But I paused the show and I was watching and I was like, no, he's actually pushing the fork on his forehead. That was disgusting.
I was like, well, okay. My brother, I just looked at his face, and Tuna just has this look of like, this isn't real. Kind of like the. It's not like a inquisitive. It's kind of like his eyes are wide open. Like, there's no way that this is happening. Like, this isn't happening right now. And then then it went to commercial break, and it was like the picture in picture, but it was a huge pop when Moxley, so Archer's down in the ring after he does it, right? And he's got Archer's blood all over his hand, and he climbs the second rope, and he's looking at the crowd, and he licks the blood off his hand, off his finger and everything. And my brother, his eyes got even bigger. And Tuna looks at me and goes, "Something right with this guy, right?" I said, "No, he's insane. He's absolutely insane." And he goes, "All right."
That's so funny because he legit is super insane.
Yes,
and
exactly.
You look at his wife. She's like the sweetest person. That Renee. She's so like nice and bubbly and sweet and pink.
What part of Canada is she from?
I think they're both from Quebec. Or no, I mean not both. I mean she's definitely from like some part of Quebec.
Okay.
Or some sort of French, because her last name's French. Paquette.
Yeah.
Paquette.
Yeah. It isn't Mox from Cincinnati?
Yeah, he's from Cincinnati.
Dude, you like total polar opposites, right?
Oh, she's actually from Toronto.
She's from Toronto. Okay. Didn't she do some stuff there, like on TV for like a sport, like for hockey, or she's like
like a journalist for some kind of show. Score. They also do like that's where these guys come from. They do like regional WWE like shows. And there's one in Mexico, there's one in India, there's one in Australia, UK, Ireland. They all have like their own shows that they kind of review stuff for the local audience. That's where these guys come from. Is like if they're really good, they call them on the main show.
That's pretty awesome. I dig that. Oh, they freaking had gold with her and they let her go. And I guarantee, man, you gotta think. It. Oh, I bet they do.
There's nobody else.
I think she's going to AEW at some point.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they just had the baby, so once the baby grows up a little,
bring her on in. She'd be. So like, I'd put her on the level of. Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. What's the ref? Aubrey Edwards.
I would put her in storyline. I would put her in like a Moxley storyline where she's like, not like a valet, but like just a character for TV where she's, Mox is all unhinged and crazy and hardcore, and she's like, "No, we have a family," and that'd be cool to see. Like trying to mellow him, keep him grounded, mellow him down a little, and then he does, and then eventually he unleashes on somebody like crazy, and he's like, "No, like this is the real me." That would be cool, like to see a whole character arc.
Like if they do a Nick Gage, because actually he and Nick Gage are buddies.
Yeah,
in real life,
I can see that.
So they actually did a Dark Side of the Ring episode about Nick Gage, and Mox was all over it, which is awesome. But what if they did? And here's fantasy booking right here again. What if they did a Mox and Nick Gage storyline like that, where he's just going to go crazy, he's going to go to war with Nick Gage, and that's where you bring in Renee and have her be like, "No, we've got a family. You can't be doing this stuff."
Yeah.
And give that extra layer, like extra sense of danger. Oh, just stay away from explosions, and we're good. No exploding barbed wire matches, and we're fine.
Yep, that's true. We don't want none of those.
Now, I will say, another big pop for the night, and my brother actually commented on this, was when Sting came out with Darby Allin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my brother was like, "Oh crap, that's the real Sting." I was like, "Yeah, dude, that's him.
That's the real Sting." They don't have a knockoff Sting.
Oh yeah, that was his like thing. He was just like, "That's Sting." I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "I know him," because I guess he well, even in for Dark, Christian comes running out, and he was just like, "That what?" And he was just like, "That's Christian." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "From Edge and Christian?" I said, "Yeah."
Was Matt Hardy on the show?
No, he wasn't there. He wasn't there, and they had a dark match, and he wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought was, and I was kind of hoping to see Hardy. I was like,
I would want her to see Hardy.
My brother, I think, was a little excited about that because I told him, Matt Hardy is on the with the company. He's like, "All right, cool, yeah." He was excited, but then I said, "That's Jake the Snake," and Little Chef has met him here. I was a little bummed out about that one.